dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky. This is WYMT Mountain News First at 4.
Good afternoon, I'm Steve Hensley. First at 4, 2 people are dead following an early morning house fire in Letcher County. WYMT's Dakota Makris is there with the latest.
Now the fire happened here at a home in the Payne Gap area on US 119 North. Jenkins City Fire Department Captain James Stevens tells me their first units arrived around 5 o'clock this morning. He said early reports had 2 people unaccounted for. When they managed to get the fire out, they found the bodies inside.
We did suffer a partial collapse on the roof, which makes it difficult to get to fire that's deeply rooted. There is a basement in this structure as well, and there has been some flooring has collapsed.
Now the cause of the fire is unknown, but state fire officials were called in to investigate. In Letcher County, Dakota Makris, WYMT Mountain News.
And we are still waiting on the identities of the 2 people who died. Donated blood is essential for patients in need of surgery, cancer treatment, and transfusions for blood loss from serious injuries. But blood donations have been in short supply since the pandemic halted many drives. WYMT's Zach Hawk is live at a blood drive in Hazard this afternoon to see if those supplies are rebounding. Zach, how's it going?
Well, Steve, blood drives like the one happening behind me began happening again during the summer. At which point supplies were critically low. Now, officials at the Kentucky Blood Center tell me that resuming community drives was very helpful, but changing pandemic conditions made scheduling them a big challenge. Donor specialists from KBC added that blood stockpiles are starting to refill, but that with elective surgeries resuming as medical centers reopen to the public, donations are desperately needed. Organizers of this drive in Hazard have a couple tips for people thinking about donating.
You need to eat real good today. Drink a lot of fluids, and just make sure you eat a good meal before you come here, and bring your photo ID.
Anyone in the area that's thinking about making a donation can come out to the Perry County Public Library until 6 p.m. Live in Hazard, Zach Hawk, WYMT Mountain News. Back to you, Steve.
All right, Zach, thank you very much. A sleepless night happens to all of us at one time or another, but what happens when this is recurring and ends in a compelling business idea? When Pulaski County native Courtney Eichard fell asleep one night last spring, she woke up due to tossing and turning. It was 4:30 in the morning when she realized her thoughts were trying to tell her something. After listening, she was compelled to take on the challenge of launching a new candle business. Launching back in October of 2020, she's now celebrating 1 year in business with more than 3,500 candles sold. She encourages everyone to pursue their dreams.
Take the leap of faith. I mean, whenever something's fear-based, you just got to push through that and just do it. You just got to do it. And there's always going to be fear. And even after you start, there's going to be fears about how to move forward or what steps to take or what to do. And you just got to push through those.
Eichert says she has around 10 candle scents, and she is getting ready to come out with her Christmas scents.
Tonight, not a bad evening to maybe stay inside, light some of those candles, because it's going to be another chilly one in the mountains tonight. Maybe even fire up the fireplace as we head into tonight, because if you haven't the last couple of nights, you're definitely going to want to tonight. I-64 at Moorhead. We've seen some high cloudiness throughout the day today, otherwise blue sky overhead. It's been a dry day, and that's to be expected out there. Downtown Whitesburg sitting at 54. Pretty dry outside, too. Look at that dew point, 23. A good 31-degree difference between the temperature and the dew point there. Mostly clear skies there. Mid and upper 50s out there. We're slowly bumping those afternoon highs up just a little bit, ever so slightly, each and every day. Pinpoint Doppler, a clean sweep as expected this afternoon. No big weather worries to talk about other than the cold temperatures, that is. If you're headed out to Friday night football, of course, the playoffs continuing around the mountains. Of course, our big game of the week tonight, Shelby Valley and Martin County. You can watch that on our second channel, Heroes and Icons, or on WYMT.com. 41 at kick. You're definitely going to want to grab something to keep you warm because we're headed down into the 30s as we head through halftime and by the time the final whistle blows. So make sure you have a way to stay warm. Otherwise, we've got a warm-up on the way, and I'll have the details on that coming up in just a little bit. Steve?
All right, Evan, thank you. Britain has become the first country in the world to approve an antiviral pill designed to fight COVID-19. CBS's Ian Lee reports from London.
For Anne-Marie Pagan, this little red pill called Molnupiravir is a big deal. The UK mother caught COVID earlier this week, and as a cancer survivor, she's more vulnerable to the virus.
Is absolutely a life and death situation. I do have a family that I need to think about, and I need to be here for them.
That's why she's taking the world's first antiviral drug approved to treat COVID-19. Merck originally designed the drug to treat the flu, but found it produces errors in COVID-19's genetic code, which stops the virus from replicating.
To have a drug like this, to have an antiviral that's potent, that's able to be taken orally, is a very important moment and does mark a milestone.
Global trials show Molnupiravir cuts the risk of hospitalization or death by half for high-risk patients. Here in the UK, the pill has been approved for people with at least one risk factor for COVID, including being over 60, obese, or having heart disease. Studies found Molnupiravir is most effective when taken within the first 5 days of symptoms appearing. Unlike current COVID therapies like monoclonal antibody treatment, which require a hospital visit, this pill can be taken at home. British doctors expect it to be a game changer in fighting the pandemic.
They can be mass-produced and distributed across the world, and that's very important for equitable global access to life-saving treatments.
If the FDA gives the green light, Molnupiravir could be available in the U.S. as early as next month. Ian Lee, CBS News, London.
Certainly encouraging news. Pfizer has also developed an antiviral drug to fight COVID-19, and trials show it can cut the risk of hospitalization or death by 89%. That number comes from an analysis by the company based on a combination of the experimental pill and an older antiviral drug. The data has not been peer-reviewed or published yet. The drug was tested in adults within 3 to 5 days of symptoms starting. Less than 1% of patients who received it went to the hospital within 4 weeks. That's compared to 7% who got placebos. The CDC is warning doctors to be on the lookout for a rare tropical disease connected to an aromatherapy spray sold at Walmart. The Better Home and Gardens aromatherapy room spray with gemstones was already connected to a death in Georgia. Now someone in Kansas has died from melioidosis, and cases have been reported in Minnesota and Texas as well. Specialists believe the whole lineup of scented sprays are contaminated with a deadly form of tropical bacteria, possibly from its manufacturer in India. Let's head over to Wall Street now on this Friday. The Dow closes up today more than 204 points. So a good end to the week on Wall Street. We'll have more financial news in our next half hour. As winter gets closer, the days will continue to get shorter, and it is now time to fall back into a new schedule. Daylight saving time officially ends on Sunday. The change will take place at 2 a.m., so be sure to change your clocks before heading to bed Saturday night. Most smart devices will update themselves, but things like microwaves, stoves, and other appliances will need to be changed manually. Coming up, hospitals are usually not considered romantic locations, but one couple from Iowa disagrees.
Yes, indeed. I have upper 60s in the forecast next week. I'll detail what that means for our rain chances as well straight ahead.